And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. We are Monday morning once again, January the 27th. This month is just about all said and done. Friday will be the end of it, and that makes, I guess, Saturday Groundhog Day. We'll find out if it'll be 6 more weeks of winter or not coming up later this week. What's your bet there, Odie? Yay or nay? Thumbs up or down for 6 more weeks?
Yeah, we're going to get cold.
6 more weeks. I think I'm going with that plan also. Always works that way, doesn't it? How does everybody feel? Certainly hope so good. We do have some light rain. 53 right now. What does that tell us? Slow down. And slow down. Do not use cruise control at all today. It's too wet. You can lose control quickly. We want you to get safely where you're headed. We've had a couple of overnight accidents. Nothing major, which is great. But there'll be more people on the roads here in just a little bit. We want you to arrive safely where you're going. All right. We'll be back with headlines of what's shaping America. Boy, there's a lot went on this weekend, wasn't it? Oh, yeah. We'll be back with that, plus a weather forecast in just a moment. Let's go to Collinsville now. Big thank you to WMOX for joining us this morning as we head to Collinsville.
Y'all come on out and see us at J.
There's a medical condition that afflicts people all over the world. It's called torticollis. The symptoms can include muscle spasms, tightness, limited range of motion, headaches, dizziness, even nausea. Now, you might not be familiar with the condition of name, but you sure know it by its common name, an intense case of a stiff neck. Now, we've all suffered physically from a stiff neck, but there's also a spiritual condition that the Bible calls being stiff-necked. A person who is stiff-necked is stubborn, unyielding, resistant to change, authority, advice. It's a way of saying someone's refusing to submit or compromise, even with a sense of defiance and pride. Do you know anybody that suffers from that spiritual condition? Perhaps you. Well, the Bible says a warning for those who suffer this spiritual condition. It says in Proverbs 29:1, he who is often reproved yet stiffens his neck will suddenly be broken beyond healing. Another way of saying that is a person who often stiffens their neck will soon find it broken. And nobody wants a broken neck, right? Your stubbornness and resistance, in the end, it really hurts yourself. It limits your growth, damages relationships, causes you to miss opportunities, gives rise to poor decisions, leads to isolation, and will leave you broken. So, if you suffer from being stiff-necked, it's time to make a change. See your spiritual condition. Ask God to forgive you of being stiff-necked, and ask the Holy Spirit to help you learn to desire wisdom, listen to wisdom, yield to wisdom. And over time, your stiff neck will go away. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. It is Monday morning, January the 27th of 2025. Now, we have a lot of headlines coming up for the local news beginning at 7. I hope you'll join us for that. We'll fill you on the whodunits and who did it. All coming up at the top of the hour. We'll do that. Donald's approval rating is skyrocketing. More and more people are getting that feeling like, what was it the Toyota used to have? Oh, what a feeling where they jump up. Proud to be an American again as he takes back. We'll talk about some of those stories that occurred this weekend. Now, this is how it all begins. The likelihood of this beginning or happening is slim to none. But we do know that a letter was given approval by the Secretary of State for California. It will have to get a little over 500,000 signatures as a small group have decided that, well, they'd like to have independence from the United States. No, seriously. As we look at this, it would be included on the 2028 election ballot if they gather 546,651 signatures. Good luck to them. Can the rest of us sign that, or is it just California? Now, make no mistake, California has one of the biggest economies there are in the United States. It's huge. Let's just hope they get back to seeing things, well, the way the rest of the country does. What happens when you're wanted by the police, by federal agents? Don't take pictures with your wife. A U.S. drug kingpin done just that. They were visiting the U.K. and his wife took some snaps and posted them. He's in jail now. she had this big long list of chasing your dreams and capture the moments and pictures. And, well, she captured it all right, and he was arrested. I did not realize this. It's been a while since I've been into an airport, but after you pass that security checkpoint, and after I think long and hard about this, when I first read this, I thought, well, there's no way it's a police officer, a TSA agent on top of that. But apparently it goes bar none. After you cross that checkpoint where everything is checked, you cannot have a gun. A TSA agent was arrested for having one past that point. And I guess the more I thought about it, this was in Atlanta. The more I think about it, I guess someone could overpower him and take his gun and get on an aircraft would be the reasoning behind this. But he was arrested. He was charged. He's out of jail now. But you can't do that. I truly did not realize that was part of that. I thought law enforcement could do what they wanted. Okay, have you ever had to... I've done this twice this morning. One of them I'll share now. You ever had to Google what a word meant?
Yeah.
Thirst trap. You ever heard of that? No. THIRST trap. Okay, number one, it doesn't even sound like a word or saying, does it? No. Well, Vanna White goes, what is this? She let her son come on her video of her little cooking show that she does online, and people were posting thirst trap, thirst trap. She goes, why y'all running my son down? So I did too. I thought, what in the world is this? Here's the official definition. A thirst trap is a social media post that is intended to make people sexually interested in the person in the photo. Now, I'm just here to tell you could have come up with a better word, a better meaning than that. Sexy? Doesn't that kind of...
Yeah, that's what we've always said.
It's a sexy pig. Why would you... Thirst trap? I mean, come on. Who's leading this vocabulary? Yeah, it's not Webster. I truly do not get that. Does any? What have I missed? Have I reached a point to where I'm a generation and don't match up with other people?
Yeah.
Oh, Odie's saying I have.
We all are.
But it just doesn't quite make sense. Google was called before it was Google. What was Google? I don't know. We didn't have Google then.
Called a dictionary.
A dictionary? Well, we've got the mayor here, Dalton, Illinois. She's been in all kinds of trouble. Her latest stint is you go to the city council, you get approved for a restaurant to have a liquor license to where you can sell alcohol with steaks and things. This has been going on since October. 4 or 5 restaurants have applied. They were approved by the city council, but she won't sign it. She was dragged into court. They've sued, and she told the judge on Thursday, I'll sign them before the day is out. Guess what she didn't do?
She didn't sign there. No.
She's been found in contempt of court, and this is just to get nasty. She just doesn't do her job. Tiffany Henyard is her name there. We have a lot of people that are in offices that don't do their job the way they're supposed to. Just saying there. Costco, and again, we've talked about this company before. We don't have one here. Maybe in Jackson they got one, but not in the Meridian area. Jackson does. They're chunking Pepsi out and rolling Coca-Cola back in. It's been a long time since Coca-Cola was the serve there. So get ready. It's a little change there at the helm. 12-year-old in Texas facing charges. Why? He stole a car. Police chased him. That's way too young for all that. Most trouble you used to get into is popping the clutch, hauling hay at 12. Now they do it a little bit different there. I'm sure you've read this story, and we talked about it a little bit on Friday. As we see this, some were complaining you ought to do more, but he's doing the right thing, people. If you were thrown out of the military because you did not take a COVID-19 vaccine, he's reinstating you with back pay to your full position that you were then. There were others saying, well, wait a minute, I would have got a promotion by now. Well, be glad you're getting back in and getting back pay. Yeah. Because the last administration, you didn't have that.
You didn't have nothing.
Yeah, nothing. So be thankful for what you do have, that the right thing is been fixed. Yeah. How do y'all like that? Hexa is in the office now. He is large and in charge. We wait to see what happens. Secretary of Defense, congratulations on him. Odie and I were talking about J.D. Vance a few moments ago. He might be tougher than I thought he was. We'll get into that this morning also. We've had someone else, and I'm sure that there's a lot of these that we don't hear about that goes under the radar. We did find this one this morning. A Florida man has been arrested, threatening the president online. You can't do it. They take these things serious. He's in the jailhouse now, as Jimmy Rogers once sang. Don't do it. What's his name? I always have trouble remembering. Homan. Homan is our new border Caesar. Did I say that right? Czar. Czar. Like Z. Why did they put a C in it? Czar. He's our new border czar. He has one message for people. Period. If you're here in our country illegally, you have a problem.
And they rounding them up.
As a matter of fact, on Sunday, it was 960 that were 956 arrests for undocumented immigrants in one day. That was yesterday. More and more and more are being arrested. I know there are those that argue, but dig deep into these people's files of what's going on. They have made an arrest in Vermont, and again, we don't talk about Vermont a lot because it's just not a lot of headlines that come out of there. But it was a Border Patrol agent that was killed. Are y'all aware of this?
No.
These people went and they hung out for 2 to 3 days at a motel, even took, and this almost reminds you of Better Call Saul, to where they took tinfoil and wrapped their cell phones in it to where the signal wouldn't get out. And they killed a border agent. They'd been arrested. No jail deep enough or far away to put people like that. Anybody got a passport? I don't own one. You've got one? The newer ones had a third little thing at the bottom. Male, female, and your choice to put an X here. Y'all remember that when they approved that to where you could kind of like, you weren't sure what you were? Yeah. State departments recall those. You cannot have those. It's illegal to not know what you are. You have to go back to the way you were born, male, female. So those are being recalled. I'm not sure you could even leave the country if they're recalling those. So best go see somebody. Tell them what you were originally. Not being.
They'd have to have some way of sending you a new one.
Yeah. You got to go down there. Go on down and let them see you. We had 38 people hurt on a flight from Nigeria to D.C. They got altitude, turbulence, or something happened. They're unsure. And they had to go back. 6 people were admitted to the hospital. There were several people that were injured. This is wonderful. This is almost like a technology breakthrough, and we do hope that more happens of it. The longest living person on a pig organ transplant. She's doing fine. We certainly hope that this works out. She's from Alabama. We do hope that this is a new wave of medical that will save lives. Let's keep our fingers crossed. She's doing well. We talked about this on Friday at the Capitol. A man got in to the Capitol with a weapon on him. He had thoughts of suicide. They've arrested, or actually suspended, I think is the word. They didn't arrest him. They suspended the officer that checked him. He came through a checkpoint. He was patted down, and, well, the officer didn't find it. He's going to have some retraining. He's suspended at the time. What that tells us is he wasn't really doing his job, was he?
No.
You think of what could have happened should the man... That's a big place. Yeah, and people like the Capitol, we know what people think and try to do to our country. Ohio, and this is one of those things. It's a preacher, and he truly feels that he's doing the right thing. But in this little town that he lives in, there's ordinances. It says you can't do that. Bryan, Ohio is where I'm talking about. He is using the church where it is located as a homeless shelter. He says it's the right thing to do. The city says it's not in the zoning and you can't do that. He defies the law. He's been fined, and we'll see what becomes of it. It's a big dispute. And I really don't know what to tell you over that. He is trying to do the right thing. There are laws. Toughy, isn't it?
It is.
Sometimes God's work, y'all know where I'm going with that. I don't have the answer. I don't know who's right, who's wrong.
They can rezone it if they.
They could rezone if they could, but they're afraid that others will.
Yeah.
We'll see what becomes of it. The United Healthcare Company, y'all remember where Brian Thompson, he was killed just a few months ago? They've renamed a new CEO. Veteran Tim Knoll is now the CEO of that company. We wish them well. Let's hope that prices will come down. Americans need that. Target is the next company. They're rolling back those DEI initiatives. Target is. More and more companies. There's still one or two that are still holding out. I think.
Wasn't it Kmart that was real big and started putting all that in their stores?
I think it was. And what's his Reverend Al Sharpton tried to lead a protest this weekend against that. It didn't work out as well as they thought.
Ooh.
Trump has said, y'all hang on a second now until we get this figured out. And the CDC and all these health reports told them they could not release information to the public till they get it all straightened out. He said, now, if it's a national emergency, you can. But as far as releasing information every day until we approve what you're doing and know how you're doing it, stay quiet. They're going to have it worked out in a day or two. But again, if there's a national emergency, they will release information on that. Adam Schiff is throwing another temper tantrum. He's jumping up and down. I can almost see him rolling around on the floor, kicking. He says that Trump has broken the law by firing 18 general inspectors over the weekend. I expect nothing less from him. Here's one of those things that disturbs my soul. It rattles my soul, as a matter of fact. A Colorado mother killed 2 of her children and then fled to another country, to the UK. They are giving permission for her to be extradited back to the U.S. to face her crimes. How could you? I read another one this weekend of a father that took the life of his children. I can't even begin to, I left it out. It just really, it was awful how anyone could do this when there's so many people who want precious children. There's a place that's warm for folks like that, and I think y'all know what I'm talking about. Kansas City Chiefs are headed to the Super Bowl.
Woo-woo.
A lot of people are happy over that. Y'all ready for that? Some of you will watch, some of you won't. We also, immediately after the win, this hadn't made a lot of headlines, and they don't think it was intentional, but a car accidentally ran into a crowd, injured 3 people. I don't think it's life-threatening, but there were some injuries after the game last night. They're going to be okay, but police say they don't believe it was intentional. That's it. Good news across the U.S. of A. as we'll look at radar here in just a moment. There is rain falling in California, and they need it. They need it bad to put out these fires. And this may be why some of these people were pardoned. House Republicans have announced a new subcommittee that will be investigating the January 6th event. We'll hopefully find out straight down the middle what went on. This was Honolulu, 1977. A young girl, I believe she was a sophomore, was found lying on the 2nd floor in the English building, deceased, wearing nothing but a towel and a rag around her neck. She had been choked and sexually assaulted. That was 1977. This week, they went to a nursing home and arrested a 66-year-old man. His DNA matched at the scene of the crime. He's being charged with murder. A classmate of hers. That's pretty serious, isn't it?
Yeah.
DNA, it is really, really changing how this stuff is done. There's a lot of people in FEMA sweating right now. They heard that there's an overhaul coming. It could be eliminated, but most definitely an overhaul coming. I think I heard that it could be possibly turned over to the states to where they could make that decision for help, and they wouldn't have to wait on others to arrive. But we're doing the right thing. We got troops that are in the convoy arriving there in North Carolina and in California to help our own. I'm proud of that. Hopefully our people will be taken care of. Kathy, good morning there. Diane is up joining us there. LaWanda, the Bills played a good game. I didn't see the game. Was it good?
It was an awesome game.
Odie says over the top there. I'm sure Taylor Swift made a move somewhere.
No, she was in the box.
Somebody took a picture of it. She's done more to help football than any of them have. in
They
years.
keep going up there and looking at her reaction.
Yeah, her reaction, and it sells tickets. Bottom line, that's the truth. We'll be right back as we'll get into your forecast next. Let's face it, accidents are going to happen. If a deer jumps out in front of your car, go see my friends and professionals at Chet's Paint and Body Shop in Center Hill. Chet can help you navigate through this confusing world of insurance by providing photo estimates to insurance companies and the right to choose the body shop of your choice. From a minor scratch to a major collision, Chet has you covered. Chet offers quality repairs by trained and certified technicians with a lifetime warranty on all repairs. That's Chet's Paint and Body Shop.
We welcome you to a new vehicle buying experience here at Doc's Toyota. Buying a new vehicle doesn't have to be stressful, but don't just take our word for it.
This was the best experience I've ever had buying a vehicle.
Doc's employees are top-notch.
I drove 2 hours, not once, but twice, to purchase 2 vehicles with a 5-month time frame.
Doc's delivers competitive pricing, a comprehensive selection, and flexible financing options, helping you get on the road from Carthage, Meridian, and beyond. There's a reason why there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Our record highs and record lows, it was 1957. We had a high of 78 today. Back in 1940, it hit an all-time low of 2 degrees. My, that was mighty chilly there. Glad to see that we're going to be into the 50s today. As we look at our highs for today, rain in 58. We should see 56 there in Philadelphia. And finally getting up near Columbus Air Force Base to where it'll be kind of tapering off there down the Mississippi River, and rain back at Natchez all the way toward Hattiesburg. It's wet streets today. As we go to Alabama, we'll see that 55 there in Demopolis. We should see 56, 55 right there at Livingston as well. Up to Birmingham, a little bit cooler, 52. Montgomery should be somewhere around 54 today if you're in that neck of the woods. Warmer weather as we see this. Finally, days without being below freezing during the daytime hours. I'm tickled over that. Here's what we've got. 58 today, down to 34 tonight. But look at this. I see sick people in my future. Oh, y'all do too. As we go from 0 and 20 degrees to 70. 62 tomorrow. We'll see 68 on Wednesday. By the weekend, 71, 70, and 70 on Sunday. Now, that just isn't right, is it? Again, we're bringing in February 1st at 70 degrees. Groundhog Day. As we look to the future, that we're going to get up to almost 75 by February the 5th. That doesn't even sound right. Now, a cooler temperature will move back in somewhere around the 8th with highs making somewhere 58, 59, 60. We'll lose about 10 or 12 degrees there. That's an outlook through February the 10th. Just sounds kind of weird being that warm in February. As we look at our fishing calendar, here we go. Major times today is 10:30 until about 12:30. Not bad at all there. A minor time to fish this afternoon will be around 10:40. 2:40 rather to 4:40. So if you're going to go fishing, that'd be the time to go there. Sunset happens at 5:24. We're just a moment away. Well, we're already hit sunrise. 6:51 was sunrise this morning. Let's look at our deer hunting calendar as we go here. What are the best times today? Major time is 9:30 this morning through about 11:30. So a mid-morning hunt is great this afternoon. Minor times begin at 3 o'clock till about 4 o'clock. Might as well stay to dark if you go. Again, sunrise 6:51. Sunset will be 5:24, and they predict the hunting to be a little bit better today. So if you're going to be out and about, before we go, let's go look at radar and look at these showers that we're showing here. And we've got a bunch of them as we pull up radar this morning, especially. Here we go. A lot of fog in between Union down to Decatur there on Highway 15, that 2-lane road. And we got a lot on Highway 19, Highway 493, Highway 495, Highway 16 in Kemper County, and that northwestern corner of Lauderdale County covered in fog. Be careful. Light showers throughout the county as we look at this. Some heavier rain there at Enterprise. If you're getting up in the Enterprise area there, Highway 11, if you're going to be traveling across 514, those areas there, be careful. Heavier rain there. As we go south, we've got really heavy rain down here around Gilbertown, Alabama, Toxie down to Silas, over to Coffeyville, Alabama. Even Laurel, Hattiesburg, south of there is a little bit, and Taylorsville clocking in with a thunderstorm or two this morning. Purvis, Mississippi, look at y'all getting wet. So no matter where you go that is south of the Meridian area, we got showers. North of there could be some mist, but nothing big showing up in those areas. Again, that's a quick look at radar this morning as we track all of this. Here we go. We'll have more coming up. We're getting ready for the morning show beginning at 7. We'll go live in a couple of minutes from now. Again, big thank you to WMOX joining us there. We'll be back again tomorrow morning at the same time. Get the coffee on. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes as we begin your morning show right here at the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.